Alright, bit of a different video today because recently I was reviewing the Jordan 7 Miro that was once a grail in 2008 when it first came out. Not really the case anymore. I still thought it was a really nice shoe, but what I noticed when I reviewed that shoe wasn't really how nice it was. It was the fact that it was $255, which is just a bonkers dumb price. A shoe, something you put on your feet, you wear it out in the dirt and the grime, made overseas where labor is super cheap for $255. It's unconscionable. Now, Jordan Brand and Nike defenders and just absolute fanboys, which I am, but I'm not blinded by my fandom. But people that are blinded by the fandom might be like, look, it's a special colorway, it's probably limited, very exclusive, hard to get. You raise the price and you don't want to cheapen your product. I don't give $255 for shoes. I don't care who is behind it. It's just a bonkers price. Now, of course, traditionally you had kind of very premium exclusive products like the foams that came out for $180 back in 1997. Super expensive, still very expensive. But my main point of this video is I just wanted to kind of rant about the slow price hikes that's been happening over the past few years for Nike and Jordan Brand. Now, obviously, they have always been kind of more premium brand where the prices they charge has been higher than like other sneakers like Reebok, maybe not Adidas, but like Puma, brands that are still huge, still very popular, but not exactly with the same type of market domination as Nike. But I've just had enough of these like price increases over the past few years. And what's ironic about the whole situation and why I kind of made the thumbnail of this video the way it is during the exact same time they're kind of slowly raising prices, Nike's stock price has been on a free fall. Now, obviously, the price of your stock and the price that you're selling a product to customers are not really like a one-to-one correlation, but it's just kind of funny. The company, in terms of stock performance anyway, isn't performing great, but they're charging us more than ever. So if you rewind time back to 2021, Nike's stock price at the time was pretty healthy. Let me see my notes. It was in July in 2021. It was $160. Pretty healthy stock price. The next year, same time frame in July, $105. The next year, same time frame, $175. Then the next year after that, it really fell to $73. And then $72 the year after. And this year, it is $44 as of the most recent Friday when the market closed. So they have, I didn't realize until I'm seeing it on paper. They have dropped 4 times in terms of their stock price. The performance of this company is not up to par with what they want it to be, but they're still charging us out the ass. And I'll just give you some examples to illustrate the point. The upcoming retro of the OG colorway, the Jordan 3 True Blue, is dropping for $230. Just last year in 2025, Jordan Brand brought back the Black Cement, an OG colorway, probably likely more beloved by customers than the True Blues. They came out for $220. Still insane price, but their $10 price increase just came out of nowhere. Well, actually not nowhere. Nike has stated that because of the tariffs, they're going to raise prices. But recently, it has been ruled that the tariffs in place has been illegal. Now, let's say the outcome of that ruling was different and the tariffs just were in place, they were legal, they can still remain in place. Has Nike ever mentioned if the tariffs ever go away, they would reduce the price back to the retail price from just a year ago? They have not. And they will not. We know this. They will never do that. There are a few certainties in this life, and that's one of them. Now, another example. The Kobe 4 Protro this year, I just reviewed the blind box pack, $200. Just last year, the Kobe 4 Protro, I got the Barcelona colorway, $190. Just last year, $10 difference. Kobe 8 Protro, $190. And if you know anything about the Kobe 4 Protros, they didn't really Protro. It is kind of an outdated performance sneaker. People buy it and love the shoe because it is Kobe's shoe. I'll give you another example, another one of Kobe's shoes, not technically, but he was the face of it, Huarache 2K4. I explained in my review, one of my favorite shoes that's ever existed on the face of this planet. They are retailing for $210. Now the Huarache 2K4s, these are not Protroed, right? So they technically use the same type of tech setup as when they did in 2004, but they are retailing for more than a Kobe 4 Protro, even though the Protro and Kobe 4s are very, very minimal, pretty much insignificant. But still, just theoretically, conceptually, how is it that a shoe that has the same tech from 2004, older tech than the original Kobe 4s, are retailing for more than a Kobe 4 Protro? I know why, but just to capitalize on the nostalgia of people like me and just charging us $210 for a performance shoe that is so outdated, even though I still love the shoe, but admittedly, it is very outdated. Now, another example, I think this was the first actual Jordan brand shoe to widely announce that they were going to raise their prices. I think it happened about 1 or 2 years ago. It was the Jordan 1. When I first started this channel, the general retail price of those were $180. Now it is $185. Last year, for the Jordan 1 Bred 85 cut, a shoe that I admittedly really loved was $250 for a Jordan 1. For those, you pay $250,000 for shit you put on your feet. Now, the reasoning behind it was they were going to use really nice materials, which they did. It was exclusive and limited, very hard to get, which they are. But $250? $65 more than the general non-OG Jordan 1? Doing all this while stock is in freefall? It is just taking a big fat pile of on consumers' faces. We can see that the company is not performing as well as expectations, as shareholders would like. But still, they are saying, basically to us, we don't care. We don't care if less people buy our shoes. We just want really wealthy and rich people to be able to buy our shoes. And I am not wealthy or rich by any means, but I am in a very fortunate and grateful position that I can afford some sneakers. But every time I review a shoe and I see these prices, like even if I'm not consciously looking at any increases, I subconsciously notice it. Like I go, wait, hold on. I swear just 8 months ago, this was $10 less. It's gone up again. It's gone up again. Now, another example, which apparently Jordan Brand has reversed course on, but there was rumors that the Space Jam 11 that's retroing this year was going to be $255. I think it has been confirmed it's going to be $235 again, even if it is $235. Why? Why? Just a few years ago, it was not $235. To put it in perspective, $235 is, for some people, honestly, like 2 weeks of groceries, like to live for a family. It depends how frugal you are, obviously, but it is nothing insignificant. But for $235, which probably comes in good materials at the very best, it is a slap in consumers' faces. And yes, I realize that I am part of the problem because I do still love Jordan and Nike shoes, but I'm not really kind of ranting on my own behalf. Obviously, some of it is I would like to always pay less, but I am very fortunate to afford some shoes that I really like. But there are a lot of people who grew up with Jordan Brand, grew up with Nike, have a family, and depending on their income or whatever it is, they look at those prices and it's completely out of reach. For a lot of people like me, when we were kids, we could not afford shoes because we were kids. Our parents did not want to buy us those things. So we always dreamed of one day becoming an adult and buying those things that we couldn't have as a kid. But for so many people, even after becoming an adult, even after going to college, getting a job, getting a good job, getting a stable job, having a family, those prices that they're coming up with now are still locking them out of what they always wanted. And of course, I'm not a business mogul, I'm not a CEO, I'm just a consumer. But a consumer like me are probably, or theoretically, should be the most important voice for Nike and Jordan Brand. It is not just me who feel this way. You go online anytime a shoe is slated to be released or dropping, all the comments are like 200 for this, 210 for this, 220 for this. I haven't even gotten to the Ben 23 shoes. Yes, they use crazy materials. Yes, they have extra packaging. Yes, they're super limited. But for nearly $400 for shoes, you are catering to such a small segment of people who might not even be like die-hard Nike or Jordan fans. They just have money to blow. What's kind of troubling is this might just be a trend of not just Nike and Jordan brand, but basically a lot of companies they don't really worry about casting a wide net. They just worry about casting a very deep net for the very top. So as long as this group of people, the 1%, can keep buying our it doesn't really matter if we lose the 99%, because they'll keep buying, they spend more money, the revenue stays the same or it increases, the rest. And if they keep up the trend, I think eventually I will fall out. I'm not rich or wealthy. Right now, I'm very fortunate. I can buy some shoes, but with this trend, as it keeps going, if I ever start a family, I won't be able to partake in this hobby that is supposed to be grassroots, that is supposed to be for the community. Sneakers, at least when I grew up, it was the skaters, it was the people that were into hip-hop, it was anti-authoritarian, it was kind of stick it to the man. It almost is like analogous to the Warriors when they always had a great fan base in Golden State. And during the Baron Davis We Believe era, insane atmosphere, really cool to see. Steph came along, changed that franchise. Obviously, prices started going up and up and up and up. And now in the crowd, all you see are these super rich people that I suspect don't really love the game as much as those fans that have been priced out do. They're just there because it's some corporate event. They were invited, they have influence, they have power. But is that fan base really still the same? And honestly, what is the sneaker industry going to turn into if we keep following this trend? The people at the core, on the ground level, the community, the grassroots, are going to be priced out. And all you're going to be left with are people that can afford country club memberships who don't actually really care about the culture of sneakers. I don't really know what the point of this video is, apart from me just ranting a bit about how bonkers these prices have gotten. And sometimes I imagine what meetings about the pricing of these products can go down. I am a corporate employee as well. I know how meetings go. And I can just kind of see these people who, again, I don't really know if they care about the culture the same way sneakerheads and people that love sneakers really do, but I can just see them opening up a spreadsheet, calculating some ROI figure, and being like, should we raise these prices? You know, we lose 80%, we lose this portion, but we go deeper with this one tiny slice of our target audience. Look at the final figure, it still comes out ROI positive. Let's just do it. Sometimes. Maybe just don't do it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. So inclined. Let me know what you think about how the prices have been for Nike and Jordan brand. Is it worth it? Are you mad about it? Are you happy with it? Am I a dumb piece? Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.